All right, moving on to Reed Blankenship, the Eagles safety, former Eagles safety. Reed Blankenship, one of the white guys holding it down for them in the defensive backfield for Philadelphia for the past few years. Super Bowl champ comes over to the Houston Texans. So, like I said earlier, the Houston Texans continue to take big swings as they try to get closer and closer to their first Super Bowl trophy. They signed David Montgomery. They traded for him, and now they sign Reed Blankenship, and he is going to bolster their backfield, their defensive backfield, which kind of got torched at times last season. The Texans' defense has been probably one of their better areas over their last few years. The defense has performed very well, but they've also got torched over the defensive backfield at times, and that has probably been what has kept them from getting to the Super Bowl, other than the offense losing their footing as well at times, as we know with C.J. Stroud and all that. But Reed Blankenship going from the Eagles to the Texans, that's a very solid move for them. He has been a very solid safety for the Eagles for the past few years, has held it down, and this is going to be an upgrade in coverage and also run help as well for the Texans as they go into next season. Should be a very good addition for their defense. Also, we have Kenneth Walker. This is one of the more interesting signings to me as well. Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP, running back for the Seattle Seahawks this past February in their win over the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Only 25 years old still at this point. Coming out of Michigan State a few years ago, he has been a very good player for them for several years, and or for the past few years, and he basically turned it on last season. Even though we were aware of him already as a solid guy, he turned it on last year and basically played out of his mind. Especially down the stretch when it came to the playoff run, going to the Super Bowl. This guy was untackleable. Is that a word? He was unable to be tackled. He couldn't be stopped. He was running roughshod over everyone, and he earned that MVP trophy, and he earned this contract that he's now getting with the Kansas City Chiefs. So Kenneth Walker was very interesting because um, even though he has held it down for them in the backfield for a few years now, the Seahawks have always been kind of that team that has used several guys in the backfield. So even though it was Kenneth Walker leading the way, they had guys like Rashad Penny and I'm gonna be blanking on names for the Seahawks running backs, but the guys that have been in the Seahawks backfield that have been in that rotation, including Kenneth Walker since he came out of Michigan State. Well, the Seahawks I don't think appreciated Kenneth Walker as much as he wanted to be, especially last year. He proved that he is probably one of the better running backs in the NFL, especially with that MVP trophy. MVP trophy. I mean, you can't even deny at that point, really, right? What? But um there were some talks with him and the upper management and ownership was not trying to pay him like how he wanted to be paid. He wanted to be paid like a top market running back, and the Seattle Seahawks are just not really that team. They haven't been that team even with Pete Carroll for the past several years. Like, they have always been a team that's kind of rotated running backs in the backfield. It has worked out for them and has kept their guys fresh and healthy. So that's kind of their approach to it. And you know, you know how these contract deals, these contract conversations go. They're going to be cheap. They're going to try to keep it cheap and get the best deal they can. So Kenneth Walker wanted to get paid. The Seahawks didn't want to pay him, so he said, "Hey, I'm going to join the dark side." Kenneth Walker has officially joined the dark side. He goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, and he is signing with them for a 3-year, $45 million contract, $28.7 million guaranteed, making it the richest free agent signing for a running back in NFL history. So Kenneth Walker gets his bag. The Seahawks didn't want to give him his bag. He said, "Bet I'll go to a different team and I'll get my bag." So not only does he have a Super Bowl ring, he has a Super Bowl MVP trophy, and now he has $45 million in the bank. Well, $28 million guaranteed, but another 17 to be earned. And what can you say? I mean, I'm happy for the guy. He deserves it. He's earned it when it comes to that type of NFL money. He has earned his bag of being the top running back paid in the NFL. So shout out to him. The only thing I don't like is that he's going to the Chiefs. I don't think anybody likes that. We don't need the Chiefs having any help. We don't want to see the Chiefs winning again. But Kenneth Walker goes over to them, and I'm sure he's going to have a great career in Kansas City as well. Kobe Bryant. So Kobe Bryant, speaking of the Seattle Seahawks, after their Super Bowl win, they are moving on from a couple players, and I don't want to say cleaning house, but maybe trying to get cheaper because they know that they're going to have to start paying guys, especially with the Super Bowl victory and all. So Kobe Bryant, one of the better safeties in the NFL. He has been on the Seahawks his entire career for the past few years now. 26. Well, he is moving on from the Seahawks. They are not re-signing him, so he goes on to the Bears. The Chicago Bears are signing Kobe Bryant for a 3-year, $40 million deal, and this is one of the bigger moves of the offseason as well because of how well this guy has played for the Seahawks. I mean, look at this. He let just last season 66 tackles, 4 picks, 7 passes defended, in 15 regular season games. 10 tackles and 2 passes defended in the playoffs. I mean, this guy's a stud. I mean, he's making plays at safety that you would see guys up front making. Like he's forcing fumbles. He's got all kind of tackles, and he's also great on the back end as well. So this guy is a force to be reckoned with. Coming out of Cincinnati in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seahawks, they were gonna have to pay him. I mean, 40 million. The Bears were willing to cough up $40 million to get this guy. The Bears have needed defensive back help for the past couple years. They got a couple guys back there that perform well, but that has probably been one of the weaker spots for the Bears is their defensive backfield. So this is a very good signing for them. This is going to bolster their backfield, is going to help them be able to hold up against those really good quarterbacks that they face, especially in the NFC and going into the postseason, where the Bears kind of fall apart was their defense. So this is a great signing for them. Good signing for Kobe Bryant. He is going from a Super Bowl winning team to a Super Bowl contender now, as the Bears have finally got over that hump this past season after a few or several bad years themselves. Caleb Williams was looking like a bust, but then all of a sudden everything clicked this past season after they got Ben Johnson from the Lions. So the Bears are now one of the teams to look out for in the NFC. They're one of the dark horses this upcoming season, and this is only going to add to that. So, shout out to the Bears. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. Let's see how good the Bears are next season as well. I'm very excited to see how far they go. Justin Fields, after a short stop, Justin Fields a couple short stops ever since leaving the Bears. Uh, he goes to the Steelers for one season. He goes to the Jets for one season. Neither of those stops work out for him. So now he goes to the Chiefs, and basically he is going to be a backup quarterback, as we know now, behind Patrick Mahomes. So Justin Fields is a very interesting story. He was drafted very high out of the 2021 NFL draft to the Bears, and I do believe that he could have been the same guy that Caleb Williams is now. I'm still not convinced that Caleb Williams is really much better than Justin Fields. I just think it was the coaching. I think that was the coaching. They finally got some better guys in the building as far as ownership and management, and I think that is what has turned things around for the Bears. I really don't think it's Caleb Williams himself, even though I do really like Caleb Williams, and I do believe he's a great quarterback. But I do believe Justin Fields had and has similar skill set to to Caleb Williams, and I think he could have been that same guy for them as well. I don't know why they had to give up on him and let go of Justin Fields. They could have very easily used that number one overall pick to help Justin Fields finally come into his own down there in Chicago. And when Ben Johnson comes over last season, if Justin Fields is there as well, I think they could have had the same success that they had with Caleb Williams. So, I'm still not convinced in that right, but what happened. Justin Fields has moved on to the Steelers, who I also think should have held on to Justin Fields. Why did you let Justin Fields go if you're the Steelers? I mean, in his short starting career with Pittsburgh, he went 3-1. he was playing pretty good. I mean, it wasn't superstar level yet, but I mean, he was starting to look good again. He was starting to look like himself again. And but the Steelers can't figure out their quarterback situation either. They don't know what they're doing at the quarterback position either, as we know. So they move on from him and Russell Wilson at the same time and get Aaron Rodgers, which Aaron Rodgers didn't do much last season for them either. So I think the Bears should have hung on to him. The Steelers should have hung on to him. The Jets, you can say the same thing because the Jets don't know what they're doing either. But the Jets didn't see enough out of him last season to keep him around. Justin Fields, he's still only 27, but it kind of seems at this point that the NFL is starting to give up on him. He goes to the Chiefs, which obviously is going to be a backup there, so he's not going to be contending for a starting role with Patrick Mahomes being there. But you know, maybe this is an opportunity for him to get some good coaching and kind of go back to the basics, kind of go back to the fundamentals, and maybe get an opportunity again down the road. Maybe he spends a couple years in Kansas City, gets some good coaching, and gets back to that starting level caliber, so that another team will give him a shot. But it's kind of unfortunate to see how Justin Fields' career has gone ever since coming out of Ohio State. I thought he was very good in college, and I thought that he was worth that high draft pick the Bears took of him. I thought he was good on the Bears. I thought he was one of the Bears' best players during his time in Chicago, and I thought he was a very good talent and had made some very good plays for them and shown some flashes. But his career has been kind of on the downhill since then. So hopefully he turns it back around. I'm rooting for him, and we'll see how he does in Kansas City. Another big splash. The Dolphins have been a very interesting story over the offseason because they are completely cleaning house. If you haven't seen, the Dolphins are getting rid of everyone. All of their top guys are going. Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback, already gone to the Falcons. The biggest cap hit in NFL history, as we talked about an episode ago. So big move there. Jalen Waddle now is going to the Broncos, and also Tyreek Hill has also been released by the Dolphins. So the Dolphins basically got rid of their biggest three names on offense: Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Tua Tagovailoa are all moving on. The Dolphins are moving on. The Dolphins have basically thrown in the towel. They said this isn't working anymore. We went from making the playoffs with Tua to basically being like top 5, top 10 draft picks. So they're cleaning house. They're giving up on Tua and everybody else, and the Dolphins trade Jalen Waddle to the Broncos for a first, third, and fourth round pick. So that tells you what the NFL thinks about Jalen Waddle. They think that Jalen Waddle is still one of the better receivers in the NFL. And he's had a very up and down career being with the Dolphins. He's been with them his entire career since coming out of Alabama. But I don't really see Jalen Waddle as like one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. You know what I mean? So I don't know about this one. Now they did exchange fourth round picks, so technically it's a first and a third. But even then, I don't know because even though he's shown flashes, I don't think he's the kind of guy that is going to be like your number one. You know what I mean? So even though he's going to fit right into Denver, Denver's got guys like Cortland Sutton, guys like that. So Jalen Waddle is probably just going to fit right in. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to just take over the game and just be a super explosive guy that's gonna be a threat for a defense every Sunday. But I do like the move for the Broncos. The Dolphins are cleaning house, so they're just trying to get draft picks, and the Dolphins definitely got some good draft picks there, first round, third round. So the Dolphins get what they want. The Broncos get a good wide receiver, and the Broncos obviously were on the doorstep of making the Super Bowl last season. Made it all the way to the AFC Championship game before running into the Patriots. So this is a great move for them, and they should be right back in Super Bowl contention next season as well with Jaden Waddle on the outside. So the Broncos continue to be an exciting team. They should be fun to watch next season as well with Waddle on their team. And last but not least, Mr. Kirk Chains. Kirk Cousins ATL no more because he is now signing with the Oakland Raiders. Uh, Kirk Cousins obviously is one of the more interesting stories in the NFL, just in general, year after year. This guy is the funniest guy you have ever seen play quarterback. And after a short stop with the Falcons, who signed him to a $180 million deal, and he only stayed for 2 years and didn't even play very much because he got benched halfway through the first season, and then he hasn't played since very much. So I don't know what that was all about. We've talked about that in the last episode with the Falcons and the Vikings and Kirk Cousins and all that good stuff. So Kirk Cousins moves on to the Raiders. He's basically going to be that bridge guy. Well, not a bridge guy. He's going to be a backup for for Fernando Mendoza, who's going to be drafted number one overall with the upcoming draft. So he was that bridge guy, I guess, for the Falcons, going from him to Michael Penix. But, they drafted him at the same time. So that was just interesting. So basically, Kirk Cousins has been relegated to being that veteran presence in the locker room. He's that veteran backup now who, if anything happens to the starting guy, he can play well enough to give you a shot each and every week. And I think Kirk Cousins still does have a good amount left in the tank. But, obviously he's just going to be that veteran presence in the locker room now for a young guy like Fernando Mendoza, who's going to be drafted out of Indiana very soon. So, Kirk Cousins signs with them for a 1 year, $20 million guaranteed contract. We've seen the memes. We've seen the memes. Who is Kirk Cousins' agent? We need to know his name. Kirk Cousins' agent. Because this guy needs a gold medal. Because he has gotten the most money you could possibly get for the talents that Kirk Cousins offers to NFL teams. Kirk Cousins has not won a single playoff game. Still. Now, can you tell me why he has made more money than I think he has made the most money out of any player in NFL history at this point? What is going on? How is a guy who has not even won a playoff game, if he has, I have to look that up real quick, but if he has, it's only one, because this guy has just not done it. He has not done it on the biggest stage. He has not done it when it matters. Even though he is a very solid guy, very solid quarterback, he has just not done it time after time after time. When he needs to step up, he cannot step up. Yet he gets paid like he's Tom Brady. He gets paid like he's won 7 Super Bowls. I will just never understand that. And he continues to get paid. The Raiders are now paying him. Why are the Raiders paying him $20 million in 1 year to be a backup? They're about to draft Fernando Mendoza. Now, they're not going to be paying Fernando very much because he's going to be on the rookie deal. So I get it. They can afford it. But why? Why not get... I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, I will correct myself because Kirk Cousins has won 1 playoff game. He has appeared in 5. Out of 5 chances, he's won 1 playoff game, and that was in 2020 in the wild card round when the Vikings defeated the Saints. That's it. 1 wild card win 6 years ago with the Vikings. He's been on 2 teams since. So, 1-4, yet he's made more money than anybody in NFL history. I will never understand that, man. So, shout out Kurt Cobain. He continues to mog everyone with his money. Uh, he has completely robbed the NFL blind, even though he has not produced much of anything to say that he has deserved $172 million over the course of his career. I don't know where that money has gone to. I don't know what the Vikings got out of that, what the Falcons got out of that, or what the Raiders going to get out of that. But Kirk Cousins is living good. So shout out Kurt Cobain. He knows how to find an agent. Okay, this guy knows what an agent needs to do because his agent has absolutely done his job as good as you could possibly do. So shout out Kirk Cousins. The Raiders will be a very interesting story next season with Fernando Mendoza, the rookie quarterback, who will be starting for them. Should be a interesting storyline to follow. But that is what I have for today in the offseason NFL moves, a lot of moves being made, a lot of transitions happening, and this is going to, like every season, this is going to change the NFL landscape coming for the upcoming season. And I just love to see all the different changes every year. Next year, when we turn on the TV and you see this guy in a different helmet and different uniform, and you see this guy over there, and you're like, oh, I forgot that guy got traded there. Oh, I forgot he signed with them. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it's always one of the cooler parts of the NFL for the first like 3-4 weeks when you're getting used to all the new changes and things like that. So thank you very much for hearing me out and listening to all these different things going on. Uh, if you heard your favorite player or your favorite team mentioned, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the podcast and what you thought about the analysis. And we're going to keep it going. This next one is going to be about the NFL draft, probably, and the NFL prospects and things like that, because the draft is coming up soon in the next few weeks or so. So watch out for that episode, the NFL draft coming up. And thank you very much. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you for watching the S&T Football Podcast. Have a great rest of your day.